Hey guys, it's Hill Chris, and I'm back on this two-part series about the Capitol Hill Occupational Protest, CHOP or Chaz, or whatever you want to call it. And on this episode, I'm going to be getting into an in-depth interview with the warlord or proclaimed warlord himself, Raz Simone. And make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button and follow my journey. Thank you. Y'all right here, man.
Interesting energy, but it is positive. Yeah. That's one thing you cannot take it from me.
Carter, West Seattle, originally. I'm Lord Thotty, Austin, Texas. Yo, Chris is one of my community mentors. I mean, I've been rapping for this rap shit is for forever.
Hold on. Hey, I'm Chris. Vibing out, you know.
Shoot this little documentary. You want to say something?
What's going on, baby? You know, we trying to support the movement, keep it alive, baby. Don't discriminate. Yeah. Keep the hate to yourself. You know, baby.
Gotcha.
And so this was happening. I feel like those people who got the Capitol Hill before you, called it Chaz, trying to like paint this picture about you being a warlord, they just found you like, oh, that's the perfect person to make an enemy of the state, supposedly, whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, so check, but it's not even that too, because we were there first.
Yeah.
We were there out there when the police walked away and they said, you know, okay, hey,
hold the line, we're leaving.
Yeah, go ahead, take this, it's your building, whatever. It wasn't a hostile takeover.
No.
Everybody's like, hands up, don't shoot. They just got tired, and then they got 15,000, complaints from the city of, malpractice and shit like that. And they deployed these chemical weapons that they made a promise that they wouldn't deploy.
Yeah, I got hit by one of those for two times,
exactly,
bro. You know what the CS gas on is? CS gas is banned from the United Nations.
Yeah.
Geneva Convention.
Yeah.
And like, dog, my sergeant told me, he's like, if you don't sue, I'm gonna sue.
You're military. Yeah.
My dad was like, yo, if you don't sue, I'm gonna sue for you.
Bro, so that's what happened. They knew that their PR was so messed up and they fucked up. And so like, hey, we're about to withdraw. So they withdrew. And then it was like, bam, everybody's like, whatever. Now we get to sit around the precinct and keep on protesting. We didn't try and go into the precinct. It wasn't about no take over it. It wasn't about no burn it down. It's still up right now. So now everybody's just chilling around it. But then what you see is that a lot of people that now once there wasn't a fight, now once you're not getting beat up by the cops, you're not getting bombed out by them, everybody leaves. Now we're just chilling, right? So then everybody leaves. There's a point where it was just literally people in the room, Sarah, fucking OD, me, a few other people. There's a point where there's only 8, maybe 12 people in this whole thing. In the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Just chilling, just sitting there like, all right, we're still holding it down because it's still a protest.
Man, let me say this. Let me give you some backstory. 2 years ago, we're doing some photo shoots for Raz, and we were downtown minding our own fucking business. Of course, Raz, he wanted to get some good pictures. He got the beam on his gun. Some racist white dudes drove by and noticed Raz had a gun. He had the beam. He didn't even have the gun fully out. He just had the beam going through the smoke, right? And 5 minutes later, literally 20 cops pulled the fuck up and hemmed him up. But he had all his paperwork. They couldn't even fuck with him. They had to let him go. Remember that shit?
I do remember that shit. And bro was a real one too, cause I had a big ass duffel bag and he didn't know what the fuck was in the duffel bag. He thought it might have been some sketchy shit. He's like, bro, I'm taking the duffel.
I took the duffel bag and I put it on my shirt and I whipped out of that motherfucker so fast, bro.
He's like, I still don't know what's in the duffel bag. He's like some underwear, some stupid shit probably.
Speaking of, I need to get that shit out of my car.
Okay.
I don't even know what it is.
I was talking to Oso, he was like, yeah, bro, he was like, you should definitely leave. He's like, I don't know what's in that bitch either. And I was like, yeah, I'm out of here. But I believe it was underwear in there. Sure.
Just a week ago, Raz Simone was an up-and-coming rapper. He was also a superhost for Airbnb. Now, he's a monarch. In videos taken within Chaz, Simone is seen patrolling the area with his allies. They have guns. They're declaring, we're the police now.
In the autonomous zone, streets are apparently currently controlled by hip-hop artist turned warlord by the name of Raz Simone, who has established an armed private police force that does not hesitate to dole out beatings to communal miscreants.
All right, let's meet Raz Simone. He's the warlord of Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone.
Best part, a major part, a very good part of a place called Seattle. Seattle's big stuff. That's a major city. And we have a governor who's a stiff, and we have a mayor who said, oh, this is going to be a love fest. And by the way, these are violent people that took it over. These are not people that are nice people. I saw on your network today, John. I saw what went on with the hitting and the punching and the beating and all the other things going on in Seattle. And you have a governor that doesn't do a damn thing about it. And you have a mayor that doesn't know she's alive. She's talking about it's going to be a love fest this summer. So they take over a big chunk of a city called Seattle. I mean, we're not talking about some little place. We're talking about Seattle. Have you ever been to Seattle? They took over a big chunk, and the governor, who's radical left, no, if they don't do the job, I'll do the job. And I've already spoken to the Attorney General about it. But if they don't do the job, we will do the job. About 10 different things, any one of which will solve the problem quickly.
Can we go through a whole list or a partial list?
We don't have to go through any list. We can do a lot of things.
Yep. What's up, everybody? It's still Chris. I'm sitting here with the man that doesn't really need an introduction. He is a proclaimed warlord of Seattle. He's a rapper. He's an entrepreneur. He goes by the name of Raz Simone. How you doing, my man?
Doing well.
My God. It's been a pretty crazy couple weeks for you.
Yeah, no, I definitely didn't imagine this is what I'd be doing about a month ago. So, it's been a mess.
Man, how you holding up? What's been going down? Tell me.
I'm doing well. Like, I'm unbothered. You know, naturally, I just, things haven't bothered me at all. Things don't get to me like that. I haven't had any anxiety or stress or anything like that. So I just feel like if anyone's gonna have this weight, I'm glad that it's me. Because, you know, it's been weird, it's been different, been tricky. I'm just trying to make sure I stay alive, that's all.
You definitely can handle it. If there's anybody that I know that can handle some type of shit like this with weight on their shoulders, it's definitely you.
Yeah, no, it is what it is. But yeah, no, it's good to be able to talk with, especially somebody I know, someone that knows me and all that stuff, to, you know, be able to.
Oh yeah, that's gonna shine the correct light on it. Let me ask you. Let's get right into it. How do you feel about this whole warlord thing, or general, or what is the new one? The African.
It's the African warlord. That's the
African warlord. How do you feel about all that, man?
But I think it's interesting. You know, it's very interesting. We were just looking at those videos of the news and how they cover different things when they cover looting and destruction and lighting cars. If it's black people or if it's white people, if it's like people of color, then they're like, hey, these thugs, these gangsters, these, you know, whatever, misfits and all that stuff, but thugs, gangsters and all that, and other threatening words and shit, super predators. And then if it's, you know, white folks doing it, then it's like, man, these rowdy kids, they're just letting out a lot of energy, you know what I mean? And
they paint whatever narrative they kind of want towards it, and now it's kind of like a unbiased, or that's more like a biased narrative that they're giving.
And whatever look that you have, like especially for me, like I'm black as fuck. I'm clearly a nigga. I'm a nigga from the hood, and look at me, like I'm just asking for it. The gold on the fingers every day for the last decade or something. You know what I mean? All this shit and all this stuff. Even the fucking leather jacket right now. You know what I mean? Like all this stuff just. You know, my look, the locks in my face and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't help anything. The beard, all this shit, the beard even, you know what I'm saying? When they're saying terrorist, warlord, monarch, I feel like they're just taking a gumbo of all those things and all those looks.
So definitely they're painting a false narrative by saying that, correct?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because you're more of like a community activist. You're more of a Seattle unifier. You're for your people. Like, you know, with the whole black umbrella thing, like you've been leading. But in a positive note, like you've got farms and stuff like that.
Yeah, like and I wouldn't say activist, because I feel like there's connotations to activists that I don't like. Because I mean, I like to see change, and a lot of times I see people like they have rules for that, and I don't, it's just weird. It gets tricky, so I don't even want to like be a self-proclaimed activist. Like the activism, that's for everybody else that's over there that they've been doing their thing. Good for them. But for me, you know, I'm over here. I'm an entrepreneur and I'm a philanthropist at heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, I look more like a Batman to myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, not out here like I'm trying to fight the crime and be a vigilante. Yeah. But on some, let me get this money and bring it back to the community. Let me do this stuff and bring it back to the community. You know, I don't need any kind of accolades for it. I thought that the dream would be being able to be sufficient off the music, just that, whatever the art was. So I did graphic design. The first time I had like a job, someone gave me, it was like $50 per side, or like I think $100 or something, like $200 for the whole thing for a flyer. I started doing the flyer, and then they had a critique like, "Hey, can you put the pink balloon by the red one?" And I just remember like put my hands down and be like, "Fuck this shit."
I couldn't imagine calling Raz for graphic
for graphic design, right? This is when I was a teen, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, at first I was like, "Oh, this is lovely. Like I got jobs. Like I'm gonna be able to be sufficient off of this art. You know, I don't have to do this drug peddling or this or that or whatever. Like I can be sufficient off this. Like that's love. I don't need much. Like it doesn't matter if I'm gonna live off this." And as soon as someone had me doing some commercial work where they were putting their input in on my art, I said, "Fuck all that shit." So my lesson that I learned from that, or what I took, or at least the lesson that I took from that, whether it was right or wrong, was that I just said this: "All right, Raz, never monetize your passions ever again in life." And so that's why for the first decade or whatever, for this whole time that, you know, me being a child, a teen, and then putting out music for this first decade of my life, I wasn't charging for any of my music, period. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't recognized, and then streams came in later, but I wasn't recognizing that shit. So it was that. But then I realized, you know, more so of it was that I just can't be bought. I'm never going to put myself into a position that I need it like that. So then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get this money elsewhere, and then put the money into my music. Get the money from all these other endeavors, and put the money into the music. And that's what it was, just to make sure that I can't be bought, that I'm never in a place of desperation that's connected to, you know, something that they got for me. So you know, you can't dangle something over something for me.
Give you guys some background. This is how I knew that the man was serious when I first met him. Is back in 2012, you remember, I was doing the dunk exchanges, and we're looking for talents. And my guy Antonio running at the time, and Gary from Dunk Exchange, they were like, "Yo, how about this kid Raz Simone? Do you think he should be on it?" I'm like, "Man, I've been seeing this guy with Sam Chow. You were like one of the first people I know locally that was from the underground that was getting 100K on your music videos." This was 2012, 13. I remember seeing you at Undercast one of the few first times, and I was like, "This kid's really just like about his shit. Like he's literally trying to make it happen for himself." So that's why like the self-sufficient thing is so important to me, is because it's like you weren't underneath anybody. You wasn't anybody's protege, like, you know, the IEs, like, you know, whoever to come up under any rapper. Like you were just your own man. So that's
crazy. Taking it back like
2012, man.
I know we've been knowing each other since knowing each other, but that's funny. Look back at it like that.
But like, I want to get into it about the police in Capitol Hill and them leaving. Like, how did that all come to play? And like, how did you get them to leave, or how did they ended up just leaving?
I mean, we was going to war with them, you know what I mean? But it was like, but again, we were being peaceful. They were the ones being offensive. They were the ones being violent, you know.
I'm throwing tear gases for sure.
Days and days and days, yeah. Like I had the strap and I got the little pin, you know. I got it in my other jacket, though. I didn't bring it right now.
And wasn't there a ban on tear gas at that time?
There was a ban on tear gas. It's already illegal to use, according to the Geneva Convention. You can't even use it on your enemies at war. But on top of that, so I actually went. I bogarted to get into a meeting with the mayor. Like literally, they had some shit. And I just like slipped in there and like snuck in there and got into this room with the mayor and the chief of police, and I was sat down on the table like, fuck it, I'm in here now. Sat down on the table right across from them, and you know, I was like, look it, I already spoke on some shit about, you know, accountability for police officers, you know, that's all we want, pretty much, bang bang. But then I was like, all right, well, since this doesn't seem like it's going anywhere, you know, we need to have a call to action. Nobody wants to have a meeting. So I was like, well, how about we at least deal with what we got going on? I was like, empathetically and for PR-wise, just like logically, it would behoove both of you powerful women over here, you know, the mayor and the chief of police, to stop tear gassing people with illegal, you know, chemical warfare. The people of the city, stop using flash grenades on everybody and messing people's hearing up, and stop shooting us with rubber bullets. And doing it improperly, where you're leaving people brain dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are literally brain dead. People's wigs split open because of these rubber bullets and stuff. So I'm like, so how do we do that? And I was like, also, how about you have your officers on the line, take about 5 feet, I said 6 feet back, COVID-19, you know, and leave the barrier there and 6 feet back. Because right now, everybody's on defense. you know, I had everybody put up umbrellas and as a protection and put up a whole protective shield of umbrellas. Nobody's doing any kind of extra stuff past that. It's all just defense.
Yeah, because I was in the military, as you guys may know, and yeah, man, like I've never had to encounter tear gas like that. I mean, the basic training, they use a specific type, but the CS gas that they have is really banned and illegal. And there was a 30-day ban, and they used it the next day.
Yeah. So the day of that meeting, when I said that shit, I was like, can we at least agree on that? Like, can you guys stop doing that? Stop using tear gas. Stop bombing with the flash grenades that are leaving people deaf, and you know, stop hitting people with these rubber bullets.
Stop macing little girls.
And scoot it right. And stop doing the mason, and then scoot back 6 feet from the barrier. And she said, can we just at least get that? And then the chief of police was like, we'll review it. I can't say that, but we will review it. But that same day, that's when they put the ban on the shit. And that was the first and only day that they didn't hit people with tear gas. They didn't hit us with anything. And then they scooted back. I was 6 feet from the barrier.
Yeah.
Hella far back from the barrier. So it was like, you know, I don't even want to take credit for that, but hopefully hella other people told her that same thing. But that was, they got that on the video, on the news, shit and everything like that. And I'm over here being the only disruptive person, the only person that's saying, yo, like the action that's talking about what's really happening right now, and doing that.
In a positive manner, too.
In a positive way.
Yeah, for
so,
sure.
you know, so that happened, and that's when they put the ban. And then the next night after that, they broke the ban. You know, an officer acted and wasn't supposed to. But at the same time, it's like, well, if you did do that, if it was that one officer, why did he have the tear gas in the first place?
Yeah.
If you knew it was a 30-day ban, that shit should have been put the fuck away.
And it's crazy is because the position of them granting the stuff that they're supposed to already be doing, like, do you forget why we're even in the situation in the first place? Was the injustice, inequality, killing an unarmed black man? You know, like, all this stuff that's been going on for, 400 years? Like, it's about time. Like, they should already have known to just, quit the BS out, you know?
Yeah.
Like, but the fact that they broke that as a promise, like, that's messed up.
It's because they don't have any accountability. They haven't had accountability for over 400 years. It's like they don't want to lose any ground. You saw what happened in Buffalo, New York, where 57, all of the officers resigned and walked away from their post. Like, if you did that in war, if you did that in the military, you would be looked at as, you're done. You can't do shit the rest of your life. That's the most biggest disgrace.
Yep.
But they can get away with this shit because they're the biggest gang in America right now the way they're operating. And again, there's some good officers and good people, but it's a system that needs to be re-examined and flipped up all the way. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not cool. If you don't have accountability, then you can get away with anything. And that's not good money. Anywhere, I feel like everyone should have accountability. You gotta hold me accountable. If I'm doing some weird stuff, check it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there should be no one that has no accountability, and they don't want and some of them don't want that accountability at all so badly that they will just resign and walk away just because they're trying to hold two of them accountable. You know how that shit happened? Because it was they pushed over that old white dude.
Man.
He's bleeding out of his ears and all that stuff.
Man.
And all that stuff.
And they're trying to say he was like an Antifa or something, like.
Bruh, like, he's like 98 years old.
He was just trying to get through the crowd, bro. Like, he was like, trying to get through, and they just shoved him and split his wig, man.
Yeah, and now they're mad because people are trying to hold those two officers accountable, and none of them want that. So they walked out in solidarity. And so it's like that accountability, like, we need that. It's crazy, but.
So let me ask you this. So you've been going kind of viral. You've been on Fox News. I think it was with, was it Anderson Cooper or was it with, who was it that did the thing about Raz?
What's that guy's name?
I cannot remember his name at the moment.
I had it in my head.
Look that up for me real quick.
Tucker.
Oh, Tucker, yeah.
Some Tucker.
So how do you feel when you first saw that? Because I had posted it the second it aired. Because I was watching
Yeah, I think I retweeted. I think I posted your post. So I think I got one from the homie
Tucker
Tim.
Carlson.
Tucker Carlson. I got one from the homie Tim Crocker. He's an older homie, older white dude, not old, but like 50-something white dude or whatever. And he had sent it to me, and I heard him like snickering in the back, like, but kind of just like serious, but this is fuck, like this is crazy, like the audacity. And then I saw your post as well, you know what I mean? So I think I shared both of them or something, you know. But hearing it was just like, what in the fuck? It was one of those because I already had the tweet from the president where I'm like, yo, you're putting a huge target on my back because
President Trump.
People are already looking at me as a leader of this shit right now.
President Trump had basically put a price on your head. Basically tweeted that he was going to remove you from Capitol Hill and the people, your cohorts that you were with.
And that other people need to just remove me before he does it.
Yeah.
So that's letting you know, like anybody out here, take up arms. If you're a militia, if you're a police officer, if you're a part of the military, remove this guy before I have to put that order out on him and remove him.
So going back to inequality, right? Mm-hmm. So you know that they're painting a false narrative on a positive black man. Like, you're just repeating the system. They're repeating the whole thing again. The system isn't changing. They're just adding you to be a target.
Just making it worse.
Making it worse for you, bro. Like, how does that make you feel?
It doesn't make me feel good at all, you know, and I can see it from both sides, you know, the left or the right. I'm not on either of those sides, you know, I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I'm an American though, but and it's crazy too. Like even, you know, I was shouting out the people in the military because I understand, like, I see that the plight of that. You're going to war for something and standing up for something that you believe in, and thinking that you're doing right, and then getting fucked over. You know, figuring out like, holy shit, I might not have been fighting what I thought I was fighting for, or this or that, whatever it is, but going through all this shit, losing friends, you know, having traumatizing situations, then getting back home and people being like, fuck you, you military, you know, piece of shit, you rat or something like that, you know what I mean? Like, and you're like, holy fuck. You signed up for this shit when you were 17 probably, you know what I mean? You already probably went to ROTC or whatever when you were
I went in when I was 19. I got out when I was like 23, 24. And like, I mean, you know, sometimes I can get a 10% military discount at Denny's, but that's about it, you know? Like, I don't have no type of pensions. Like, you know, me being Asian, I get blamed for COVID every other week.
Yeah, exactly. And that's wrong, you know what I mean? So I'm definitely not against that. Like, I always tell people, like, hey, I appreciate your service, you know what I mean? I got like 8 uncles that were in the Marines and shit. Oh yeah, no, I could have, but I wouldn't have though. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe in a different world if I had more time or something like that, but again,
I feel like you would have been a sharpshooter.
That's my cousin is off that. He was a platoon leader and he was a sniper and all that stuff too. But yeah, like, it's one of those things as well where I had seen so many other people go through it that were solid dudes, and then be like, you know, I learned so many different things that, like, if I was gonna do it again, I wouldn't do it. But I'm also glad that I did do it because it made me, you know, into the man that I am. So like, that's one of those things where, you know, I just had to have appreciation. It's one of those things that I hadn't been through that way. I've been through it in my own ways, but not in that way. So I have to just appreciate all this. But, you know, the narrative that they're spreading is that I'm this, I'm that, and from the left and the right and the left, I can see how, you know, they want to use me as a figurehead, as this, you know, hey, if the right uses this, it's like, okay, now we take them out, now we set an example. Or, I mean, and again, I think there is no right and left, it's just this thing right here, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But from this angle, now we make an example of him. Don't ever do that. Don't try and stand up for what's right. Don't do what's right. We're gonna paint you like it's something that's fucked up.
Everybody wants a scapegoat. You want to blame somebody.
And then over here, it's like, now it's a martyr, and now it's a this, now it's a that, now it's a, you know, all these other things, or look what they did, it's so wrong that they did.
And you don't become like glorified till after you pass, or if you do like a life sentence or something. It's fucked up. It's fucked up.
And then when you get out, come on now, even if you did like, let's say 25 years or something like that, you get out and it's not going to be all glorious like that, but they'll be glorifying you while you're in there. You know, but yeah, we already know how shit goes. It's fucked up.
So I'm gonna run through a couple of things. They've seen you in Russia. They've seen you in like Fox Europe or whatever. There's so many things. If you Google and search the situation that you got going on, a Raz Simone period, like, that is crazy. Forbes magazine, I think, was the only people that really gave you like a fair layout.
Yeah,
can I say?
I would say so. You know,
That's
they
Forbes. Shout out to
mostly
Forbes.
got shout out to Forbes. That's the second time I've been on there actually, but they mostly got it right. I had an interview with Dog, and he was a solid dude, and he just seemed like he wanted the truth, and there wasn't any kind of extra agenda that he was pushing, and so I appreciate him. You know, he got it pretty solid. So yeah, that was like the one really right there. Everything else has been some kind of agenda being pressed for the most part.
Now, was it true about the Palestine Air Force thing?
My God. Hell no. I saw that shit. I was like, what in the fuck? What is next? I'll be hearing like all this kind of shit.
That's
like,
a hell of a narrative.
Raz is an alien now.
Oh
my
God. Raz is an alien.
Well, he's an alien. He's worked with Palestinian insurgents, the Palestinian Air Force. What did they say? He's doing some sketchy business in China with Chinese funding for the commie something with the Antifa. Like, bro, I'm hearing words I've never heard.
They're giving you a Bill Gates narrative now, like.
Bro, that's what it is. I feel like that nigga right now. I'm about to hit him up and really just actually link in some shit.
That is crazy. So I want to ask you this, like, what you did for Seattle, for the people, for standing up in who you are and what you believe in. How do you feel like it affected Seattle, i.e. the world?
It affected it tremendously. You know, I keep on always saying like, yo, no, I'm not the leader of this shit. Like, we're all leaders, or I'm trying to find and locate the leaders. But I keep on having to realize that you don't dictate that shit. You know, I can say I'm not a leader as much as I want, but it is what it is. I am what I am. And people keep on circling around me and looking for leadership and looking for guidance. Before the tabloids, before that shit, people were doing that. And so I have to just not be ashamed of it and not be afraid of it at the same time, because I already knew when I stepped out to do this and stand up for what's right that I might lose my life. I might lose this, I might lose that. But at the same time, I don't want to be a martyr. I want to be smarter. I'm not looking for that. It's not going to give me joy to die or to be hurt or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's not how I'm built. But at the same time, when I say I'm risking my life for this shit, how many times have I said that I'll put my life on the line for you? I'll stand in the way of a bullet for you. You know, I got your back. All those things, I've said that stuff. My whole life I said that to people, and I meant it. And so what am I going to look like to back away from that when it's more imminent? Nah. You know, so yeah, that is what that is. It's different though.
You're standing up for like the Trayvon, you're standing up for the Mike Browns, you're standing up for the George Floyds, because they're just like you. I mean, like right now you got a hoodie on. I mean, Trayvon Martin was just going to go get a pack of Skittles. Like, they really don't have no biased means. We're all the enemy.
And that's the thing too. One of the things that saddens me, if anything did touch my heart, would be people thinking that I'm doing this for my own personal gain. It's crazy to me because I'm not doing anything except for standing up for what's right. And then people are painting things on me. And then other people are mad that they aren't getting painted. They're mad that they're not getting the light. I'm like, I don't want that light. I didn't want that light. I got my own light going on over here. I was perfectly comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Besides, I've never done any kind of cloud chasing stuff or anything like that. You know me.
Bro, you took trips to the pyramids and rode on camels and stuff. Like,
bro, it's just real chilling regular. Like, I'm so comfortable with how I am and who I am.
But what you're doing is impacting.
But it's crazy to think that the audacity voice to, you know, you're a leader. Like, we need you to do it. And I was like, well, fuck it, let's do it. I had a megaphone in my hand, you know what I'm saying? We're all sitting on the Tesla, and we just started going and driving. Like, fuck it, it's 2020. We're about to do this shit different.
What I was about to ask is, how do you think Fox knew that you were an Airbnb host, though? Just to dwell on that for like this quick second.
Oh, cause you see them on Instagram and stuff like that or whatever, you know, like you go deep in my link tree and shit like that. You can see all the stuff that I got going on. Like 100 links to different things and shit like that.
Oh, you do like a one link thing,
Yeah. So, you know, that's but it's crazy. Like,
they cracked
that's the You know, we cracked about, but that was the whole point though, because it's people over property.
Yep.
And so that's why I wanted to. So that was like my analogy. After it organically happened like that, but then as I dwelled on it more, I'm like, yo, this is fire, because it's literally, we keep on calling it people over property. So you're seeing us people standing on top of this property, this $130,000 vehicle when I bought it new, in 2015 or whatever. This just standing on top of this shit, and then also saying fuck it. We don't even give a fuck. Cracking it, all this shit and all this stuff. Standing on this glass roof. Tesla roofs are all glass.
Yeah.
Saying fuck it. People over property, literally, and people over property.
Let me say this for the dumb people that can't hear me in the back. This is a $85,000 to $100,000 car. If he was literally there trying to make money, he would have been irate that they cracked this glass roof. Like, to replace that's got to be at least $15,000.
It's gonna be some money.
Yeah, the fact that he did not
there's all
care.
kinds of mechanics in that shit.
Let me say it again. People over property. That shows you that he did not give a flying shit about anything of monetary gain. Like, the ones that know you, we know that you're not even about that. You're not even.
If you know, you would know.
Yeah.
And then so then the next day we go. I bring my Sprinter van, my Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van. That's another $40,000 to $80,000, $100,000 vehicle, whatever. You know what I mean? Depending on where you're getting it. For me, it was like 40 something, I think. And then went and bought a new generator because the other one was fucking up. We have like 2 of them sitting in the cage right now. Generator was like whatever, a couple racks. Bring that and lug that around where we're holding it with our hands so that we can, just because everyone can hear me when I use a megaphone, because I have a loud booming voice and I know how to use it. But when I'm handing the megaphones to other people, people aren't hearing them. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna bring my PA system. I bring those big ass speakers, expensive speakers that you got in the clubs. With the woofer, all that shit in there, all that stuff.
Oh, that JBLs?
Put that shit, you know what I'm talking about, exactly. Put those like fucking 5'1" tall in the Sprinter van, because the Sprinter van is hella tall. You know what I'm saying? Put those in there and lug the fucking expensive ass generator outside of that. Go and buy some more expensive gas to put up in that bitch. You know what I'm saying? And lugging that stuff around. So now you got the procession, we got the Tesla and that Sprinter van, and my wireless microphone that I am now passing around and inviting every person that's in the march to speak on the mic. We literally let every single person speak on the mic every single time, no matter who you were, no matter your color, no matter your creed, no matter your age. We wanted everyone to speak. This is marches with thousands of people, and we made sure that everyone that wanted to speak spoke. And if you, come hop up on the Tesla. Lifting people up, getting them on a Tesla. I'm sitting down, letting them do their thing. Got Clorox wipes, wiping down the microphone in between everything. It's COVID-19, you know what I'm saying? Trying to still take care of people and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Look at you, bro.
Doing that so that I could be able to amplify the voices that are there. And then they try to tell me that I'm doing that for clout, for myself, and that I'm trying to promote my music. I didn't say nothing about my music.
Never.
They keep on saying I'm trying to perform my songs. I didn't perform any songs. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only time I performed something wasn't at one of my marches. It was one of the times where White King and Africa Town and stuff like that, they wanted me to come out and they wanted me to perform something.
I like White King.
And it wasn't he that wanted. It was like whoever was running. It was one of the youth guys that was running. It was like, yo, can you perform a song? And I'm like, well, honestly, I just brought thousands of people from this march just to bring them over to you guys to pay respect to what's happening in the CD. But I was just here to watch. But I mean, I could talk. I don't really want to perform something. He's like, no, like really though. We love that energy. I was like, okay, fine. And the older homie, OG, G Prez was DJing. So I was like, okay, I'll email him something. So I emailed him a song, whatever, Mob, and perform that. But I really just wanted to just watch and then, and then just talk, But I did that for them. But that's the only time. Since then, we got people doing whole full sets. Whole full bands doing songs and all that stuff, and no one's saying anything about them, and I love that they're doing that. But why are you saying something about me and me trying to promote my music when I haven't even performed a lick of a song? Didn't tell people, hey, go follow my music. Didn't say, hey, I'm a rapper, go listen to my shit. Didn't do none of that. Didn't try and sell my albums out there. I got tons of the homies from the hood out there selling albums just like that, as they should. That's great, but that's not what I did. So why am I getting flack back from that like I did that even? It's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is, though.
Man, just being in somebody of, I would say, your stature, who you are, people are going to gravitate to try to bring you down just because certain people put you on a pedestal. Like, the real ones know what you do for people. And, like, even Jesus had, scrutiny and haters, and he was trying to do good. Like, it just boils down to people's inner inhibitions of what they feel, and they're portraying it on you. Which is going to bring me to my last question: is what mark are you trying to leave behind, and what do you think your legacy is going to be?
I mean, I'm just trying to be solid and be honest, and and really be for the people.
Yeah.
All the people, not just black people, like all the people, especially the underdogs. That's all I've always been. Stand up for what's right, and I always felt something in my heart that I was gonna do big things, and make a big mark. And it wasn't really about even making a big mark, just on some like, I want to contribute more than just a drop in this bucket. You know what I'm saying? Like, not on some like, yo, I want to graffiti up a bunch of, I want to just leave, like, paint this big thing for myself, for my pride, because I'm not going to be able to enjoy that when I'm dead. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do anything. But just knowing that I contributed, that it wasn't just like I was sitting back and didn't do anything, you know what I mean? Like, that's how I always have looked at things in my life. And I feel like, now more than ever, it's like, I always knew it. It's just a matter of time that it's going to really, really just be massive like that. But it's like now, this is very apparent, especially with all the devils coming at me, you know what I'm saying? All the demons and stuff coming at me. It's like all the adversity is very apparent that's going to be that. It's funny that like my birthday, I was born on Martin Luther King's birthday.
Wow.
We share the same birthday. So
wow.
It's, my name, Solomon, I've always prayed for wisdom every day. So like little things like that, it's just been embedded in me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been embedded. My mom always taught me to love everyone no matter what their color is, you know what I'm saying? Like, she was married to a Filipino dude before she had me. She was trying to have, a baby. She had like 6 miscarriages. My mom has literally been awesome. You don't care if it's white, black, whatever. Took me to all kinds of churches and all kinds of things, white churches, black churches, Jewish. I grew up in a synagogue as well, you know what I'm saying? Like, just on some, but Jews for Jesus,
Yeah.
But they're like really actually doing the songs and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, all kinds of stuff. Ever since I was a kid, I've been going out and feeding the homeless, and doing all that stuff. So it's just embedded in me. I was bred to do this stuff, and so it's just interesting. And I feel like now more than ever, even though I've known this my whole life, but now more than ever, it's very apparent that I'm gonna be able to be a huge piece of this and help, help bring this change, help bring unity, equality, equity, all of that. I got so many crazy calls today. And so much beautiful calls from the community and from like some of my other brothers, black brothers, white brothers, that were hitting me up and OGs, like OGs, that were just like, it was like, damn, I got hit up by X-Rated. I remember in middle school, I just had respect for him. I didn't even know his music like that.
Yeah.
But I had respect because I heard his story, him being locked away for who knows when, for damn near life, you know what I mean? And just having to sit there and do it and take it on the chin. And he was such a solid individual that he didn't tell on anybody else, he just took it. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though that wasn't even his get down, and he took it, you know what I mean? So I have respect for that. I had a conversation with him today, and he's hitting me up, he's like, yo, I'm just letting you know, it's protect you at all costs. Like, I got your back, like whatever you need, if you need this or that, like, he said, bro, I don't never get, I said, I've only got a call from Jay Prince about 2 times in my life. Jay Prince.
Yeah.
And he was like, and every time it's of the utmost importance. And he said it's major. And he said, I got hit up by him, I got a call from him. And he's like, yo, we lost Nip. We can't lose this youngin' right here. Like Raz, like we can't lose him. Like, protect him at all costs. I'm trying to get a hold of him. He's the one we need him. Like, we can't lose him. That shit hit hard. You know what I'm saying? And it just one of those things where it's like, damn, because I'm over here just doing my work, head down. I don't even be checking the news. I don't be checking what's going on. I don't be checking the social media like that, seeing what's going on, or tapping in with folks, and just knowing that, an individual that I respect, 2 individuals that I respect the utmost, X-Rated and Jay Prince.
And for you guys that don't know who Jay Prince is, Jay Prince, that's old school, that's Rap A Lot, that's OG Jay Prince, Houston, Texas. A lot of people that don't know who that is, man, he's very influential in Southern music, music period. So that's major.
That's Drake's guy. When Drake's talking about mob ties, that's what he's talking about.
Oh yeah, of course.
So like
somebody you just don't mess with right there. That's the man.
So it just meant a lot, and just it's things like that. I got hit by so many other people too, but that, you know, yeah, Kevin Lyles tapped back in too and was like, yo, whatever you need, let me know. You know, it felt good to feel that and to see that y'all are watching and you care, you know, especially when you from your own city. And I never really got hated on in my own city. This whole decade or so, like, it's always just been like positive. Like, you look at my likes of my videos, it's like, you know, all likes, like one dislike, shit like that, you know. No one had anything negative to say except for until now. You do not spread a rumor or an accusation of someone before you go and you do your due diligence. You talk to the horse's mouth. You talk to the person that the accusation, you know, is made of. You address them, especially if they're available to address, and we're all available. Until you go and you get those receipts, you get the court paper document that shows that this person is guilty, or that this person snitched, or that this person, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, you do your due diligence. Before you do that and you have that in your hands to present, you do not just go and spread accusations about people. That's called jacketing. So like in prison or in the streets, it's called jacketing. You snitch jacket someone, that's like you're putting a target on their head for death. You put any kind of jacket on someone, you're putting a target in their head for death. And you just spread that shit on some clout shit, or because it sounded cute, or it sounded like some controversial shit to be like, holy shit, is that true? Retweet. Holy shit, is that true? Oh my goodness, let me share this. Hey, did you hear that Raz did this? Hey, did you hear that Raz did that? Now you're a bitch. You're a full bitch. Instead of doing your due diligence, you cannot do that. Where did this happen? Who did I do this to? Who told you that this happened? Mm-hmm. Where did they hear that I did this? Okay. Now they heard it from this person. Where did this person hear that I did this? Okay. Now we're on a telephone. Where is the root of this? Find the root and the receipts, and then address it, because there's always two sides to a story. So what I'm finding is most of the time it's not even based in any reality. And someone's saying something that they heard from something, that they heard from something, they heard from something, and then it's just bang. Now, the times where it is based in reality, I'm over here unapologetically saying that, no, this is what happened and that is incorrect. Or, you are correct, I did do this, but not like that. Or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Address it. You have a communication. I'm not a weirdo. I don't do weird things. So, for the most part, I'm pretty sure that anything that I've done, most people aren't going to be in a disagreement with it if they really knew the story of it. If they really knew what it was. I don't do weird shit. And anything I do, I've been transparent about it. This is what I do. This is my past. This is my history. This is what it is. Bang, bang. You know what I'm saying? So, don't just be spreading gossip and rumors because it's convenient. And especially, it's mostly disgusting when it's convenient for your agenda. Mm-hmm. That's disgusting. When it's convenient for you to do that because you want me to look bad for this reason, so that you feel like you can maybe win a little bit better over here, or you could do this over here, or you can push this agenda. I've seen that with politics. I've seen it with street politics. I've seen it with in the like activist community. I've seen it in the organizers and the nonprofit community. I've seen it with clout chasers, and social media community. I've seen it with people that are just waiting to jump on something. It's like, yo, I have a history of like being a solid dude, and nobody's had an issue with me for this last decades of my life. I've been big. I've been, up there, right there with fame, and like been known, been looked at as one of the biggest factors in the city.
Ben had deals.
Ben had deals on the table. Been signed, been done partnerships, been left, been independent, am independent. Done all that stuff. And this whole time, there was no flack like that. Only people had good shit to say about me, or I ain't hear no shit.
You were on 300 before Doug and Migos.
I was the first artist to partner with 300. Yeah, before Migos and Thug. And I even turned down doing features with Rick Ross's Migos Thug because I didn't know them personally and I didn't want to vouch for something.
I remember that.
Even though they have bigger pull than me. Because that's the type of person I am, you know what I'm saying? So it's crazy to me that you guys can do all this stuff in this 1 week. You want to make up all these allegations and rumors and all these crazy things that I never heard before until now. That should let you know something's fishy and something don't line up. But That's what I have to say to the haters. It is no, you know, it is what it is. I remember all y'all.
Basically, don't make accusations until you hear it out the horse's mouth. And that's why I wanted to do this interview. So thank you for your time, man. And like I said, man, be safe out there. And that was iLL Chris, and it's my guy Raz Simone. And I appreciate you guys for listening.
Appreciate you. Much love to you.